Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening, friends. Today's topic is Krishnamurti and Shankaracharya. They both were very bright stars in the spiritual sky. And we know a lot about Krishnamurti and Krishnamurti's teachings, but I will tell you a little bit about Krishnamurti and then we'll speak a little bit about Shankaracharya and we will see whether what they are saying, their teachings, is there some common ground there or they are quite opposite. So Krishnamurti and Shankaracharya both were born in South India and in Brahmin family. And Krishnamurti was born in 1895 and from very young age his mind was very vacant and when he was about 13 years old he was adopted by Annie Besant and they thought that Krishnamurti has something in him that there is a possibility for Krishnamurti to become like a world teacher. And they were thinking that Lord Maitreya was about to come into the human body and they were searching for a very good body and they found that Krishnamurti's body, his aura seemed very selfless. And so they trained Krishnamurti a Theosophical Society. He was sent to Europe and he did not have much contact with India. Most of the time he lived outside India. And since from very young age he was taken out and then he did not learn any Indian language. He knew Telugu, but he had forgotten because he did not use Telugu much. And so he studied Western languages, European languages. And so he did not know much about, he knew about Buddha because Buddha is considered to be the highest position in Theosophical Society. So Krishnamurti was very much influenced by Buddha and Buddhist philosophy. And so there is a similarity between Buddha's philosophy and Krishnamurti philosophy. And Krishnamurti, um, he had studied from theosophy whatever he was told, but it really did not influence him much. He was questioning everything. And then he had found his own teachings and he was uh, speaking in the language which he had invented to communicate with people. And in Krishnamurti's teachings, the most important thing is this choiceless awareness. And we last week we discussed this topic of choiceless awareness. And the basic idea is that there are so many problems human beings go through in their short life, and most of these problems are created by thoughts and feelings. And as long as, and we are conditioned by society, by past experiences, and so we get caught into thinking and feeling mind. So there is no understanding as long as our mind is occupied with thinking and feeling. and we go round and round into that. So Krishnamurti felt that there is a different dimension within human beings, which he called intelligence or choiceless awareness. And as long as this awareness is not awakened, we will get carried away by thoughts and feelings, and we suffer from jealousy, anger, fear, conflict in relationship, and all this problem. So Krishnamurti's teachings were about awakening of this intelligence or awareness. And Krishnamurti established some schools in India and abroad also. But these schools were not kind of a religious schools. Students were given many subjects, and they had to pass examinations, and they were prepared to live in society after they leave the school. They have to work, earn livelihood. And so these schools created, of course, very beautiful environment, but they were not for transmission of the teachings. It seems, though Krishnamurti wanted the teachings to come in the teachers and student life, but I think it was not so much because everybody occupied with teaching subjects. Now I come to Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya was born in Kerala in about 8th century after Christ. So about 1200 years ago. And some people say that he was born about 2000 years ago. But he was also in a Brahmin family. But same thing like Krishnamurti at a young age had a vacant mind. Shankaracharya was a very bright student. And Shankaracharya was a very bright student. He started learning at the age of 5, and by the age of 8, when children are just playing around and learning, he had already studied Veda and Upanishad and all the Shastras. And at a young age, he wanted to become a sannyasi. And his father had passed away, and the mother was not interested in Shankaracharya becoming a sannyasi. So, because she depended on Shankaracharya, because she was alone. But one day, when Shankaracharya was having a bath in the river, and one crocodile caught the leg of Shankaracharya. He was only a boy, 8 years old. And Shankaracharya shouted, the mother was nearby, and Shankaracharya asked mother to give him permission to become sannyasi, so that at least for a few moments he can live like a sannyasi before he is taken away by the crocodile. And the mother agrees because she is also very much afraid that Shankaracharya will be taken away by the crocodile. And as soon as she gave the permission to Shankaracharya to become sannyasi, that crocodile went away, and Shankaracharya came out from the river, and he decided to become a sannyasi because mother had already given permission. And so at the age of 8, Shankaracharya went away from Kerala, and he went in search of a guru. And he walked through the fields, mountains, forest, and he was not afraid. And that is a very strange thing, that a little boy in search of a guru, and he had already studied all the Shastra. So he came to Narmada River, Omkareshwar, where he found his guru, Govinda Pad. And the guru asked him who was he, and Shankaracharya made one sloka, and in that he says, I am not the mind, I am not the body, I am not the senses, and it goes on like neti, neti, I am not this, I am not that, I am a pure awareness and eternal bliss. So Shankaracharya was already advanced at a young age in this field, and he was not interested in God or something like that, God or puja or what we call a traditional religion. He was interested in finding out who am I, and he felt that we are pure Atman. And he said, Atman is Brahman also. So there is no duality between human being and God. So,
Parekh का
his,
नहीं, कृष्णमूर्ति इसको.
hello? Yeah. So, Shankaracharya um, went around after he left the Guru, and Guru had told him to spread the teachings of Veda and Upanishads. And at that time in India, religion had deteriorated, Hindu religion, and people were just worshipping God, and they were doing puja and karma kand and yagna and tantra, and Hinduism was divided into many fragments, and some people worshipping Shiva or some people worshipping Krishna, and they were fighting, opposing each other. So the state of Hindu religion was not very good. It was very much divided and degenerated. And so the Shankaracharya's job was to revive the real philosophy of Veda and Upanishads and go around all over India and have debate with the learned people and to spread the true teachings of Vedanta Upanishad. So Shankaracharya walked around the length and breadth of India 4 times in his short life of 32, and he established uh, several mutt. One is in Sringeri, one is in Badrinath, one in Dwarka, and one in Puri, 4 different corners. And he established mutt, and he prepared the disciples who also became very good in the philosophy of Vedanta. And the whole idea was to revive Hindu religion and not allow it to deteriorate into uh, karma kand and worship and going on pilgrimage like that. So um, the very popular, because Shankaracharya knew that not everybody are so good in understanding the teachings of Vedanta or Upanishad, where one has to really go deep within oneself and find that the real uh, truth or God or Brahman, the absolute reality, is within us, and it's very few people can realize this. And Shankaracharya knew that people like devotion to gods, which is much easier. And so Shankaracharya did not object to worship, and he himself composed Bhaj Govindam, which is a very, very popular bhajan slokas. And in that sloka, also he is giving some wisdom about how to live. And he says that just by learning some rules of grammar or Sanskrit language, it will not help you. You have to really um, see, understand yourself, your mind, and beyond the mind. And he says, give up all the desires to be rich in money and do not get excited by people of opposite sex. And he says, in the young age, people are uh, spending their life in playing, and when they are in youth, they go with men and women opposite sex. And in the old age, they begin to worry about many, many problems. So the life is wasted. So instead of wasting life, you you can worship God with a feeling, with a good feeling, and with a good living. And he says life is very short, like a dewdrop on a leaf. And you need a company of wise people to help you, and you can experience the God within you. This is the meaning of Bach Govindam. And he also composed um, Nirvana Shatakam. And in that, he says, I am not the body, I am not the mind, not intellect, not ego, not memory, I am not the senses, I am not the elements like fire, water, air, earth. I am a form of consciousness and bliss. I am eternal Shiva. Shivoham, Shivoham, he says. And he says, I have no greed, no fear, no virtue, no vice, no father, no mother, no guru, no disciple. I have no caste. And so Shankaracharya was against the caste system which had come in Hindu religion. So, and also at the time of Shankaracharya, the influence of Buddhism and Jainism was also very strong. And so it seems that Shankaracharya might have learned also a bit from Buddhism. And only difference is that in Buddhism, they say that the ultimate reality is shunya, emptiness. Whereas Shankaracharya says the ultimate reality is Brahman, and it is this Brahman which is reflecting in everything which we see in the world. So there is the Brahman in every human beings, but it is hidden. People are occupied with illusion, what he called Maya. So he says Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. What he meant by Jagat Mithya, it means everything is very temporary, our body and mind, and there is something which is undying, which is eternal, which is vast, infinite, which is tremendous bliss. And the purpose of religion is to realize that Brahman and Brahman and Atman are one, so no duality. So the whole philosophy is the philosophy of non-duality, and this after Shankaracharya he had established Math, and his disciples carried on, and it has influenced Hindu religion a lot. But I again see that even now people are not interested in Shankaracharya. They are interested in just worshipping God, and they worship God with a desire to get something. So they go to temples, they go on pilgrimage, they worship gods. So I think this spiritual life is maybe for very, very few people. And those people who have really gone very deep into their own mind, who are sensitive, they will understand. And so, even some people from outside India, like Emerson and Thoreau, they were very much influenced by Indian philosophy, Shankaracharya. And then there are some quantum physicists of 20th century were also interested in this non-duality philosophy because there is some closeness between non-duality philosophy and quantum physics. And so, let me see. Shankaracharya was not married, and because he was a sannyasi, so in one debate he had with Mandan Mishra, he was a Karmakand, was a follower of Veda, but Karmakand, Yagna. And since Shankaracharya uh, was having debate. He had debate with Mandan Mishra, and Shankaracharya was able to defeat it by giving certain arguments from Veda and Upanishad. He could win over Mandan Mishra, and the judge was Mandan Mishra's wife, Uday Bharti. And she was also a learned woman. And so in 8th century India, also some women were highly respected. And Mandan Mishra's wife was also a very good learned woman. And she was the judge. And she declared that Shankaracharya won the debate between Mandan Mishra and Shankaracharya. But since she was the wife, she said, you will have to have debate with me also. So Shankaracharya had to go through debate with Uday Bharti, the woman, and this woman asked some question about Kam Shastra, that is about sex. And Shankaracharya was bachelor. He had no experience of the married life about sex. So Shankaracharya could not answer the questions which Uday Bharti asked. But Shankaracharya said, give me 1 month and then I will come back and I will answer your questions. And so during that time, the story is that Shankaracharya left his body and his soul entered into the dead body of a king because the king had just died, and Shankaracharya entered into the body of the king, and then he lived for 1 month, and then he had all the knowledge about the sexual life, and he came back and he was able to defeat Uday Bharti, and she also became a disciple of Shankaracharya. So this is something I don't know whether we can accept that human beings can live their body, they can go out and come back. But this was happening in Krishnamurti's life also, because from time to time, Krishnamurti used to leave his body, and then he was in touch with some masters, and what remained was, they call it elemental. A voice of a child was coming from Krishnamurti's body, and that child was saying, where is Krishna, when he will come back? And then he will say, no, I am not supposed to ask these questions. And so there was a different kind of personality in Krishnamurti for some moments, maybe a few minutes or maybe half an hour or I don't know how long. And during that time, some process was going on in the body of Krishnamurti. And after the soul of Krishnamurti was coming back into the body, then Krishnamurti was full of energy. So there is a mystery in Krishnamurti's life also. And so I don't know, I myself have no such experience, but I would agree that yes, there are lots of mysteries. Just because we have not experienced, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Many people go through, I myself have gone through some experience which may be very difficult for other people to accept. And I'm not interested in talking about this. But spiritual life, I would say, is a mysterious, a lot of mystery, which unknown. We we live in the sphere of the known, which is a very tiny part of the whole. So we are living, this known is like a drop in the ocean of unknown, because we don't know who created this universe, how evolution took place, who created matter and life and created mind, and such a complicated machine like our body, how it happened, it is a mystery. So I think important thing for us is to be free from many problems which happen in our daily life, like fear, anger, jealousy, loneliness, boredom. And the teachings of Krishnamurti can help. Teachings of Shankaracharya can also help. Krishnamurti did not believe in the system of guru-disciple, but Shankaracharya was into that system of, and he felt that guru can really help. And though Krishnamurti did not agree with the system of guru, he was like a guru because he was going around the world, going to America and Europe, India, and other countries. And he was giving talks for 60 years, and people were coming from all over the world, and people were listening, and many people got help from him. And I'm one of those person who got help from Krishnamurti. So he was like a guru, though he did not want people to follow him. And he said that you must follow your own mind. There is no authority in spiritual uh, field, and I agree with that. I also don't agree with everything what Krishnamurti has said because I have to see it for myself. So let me see if there is anything more. Yeah, Shankaracharya, like Krishnamurti, wrote many books, and those books are available for us. And Shankaracharya also wrote commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, on Brahma Sutra, on Upanishads, and Saundarya Lahari, he wrote himself, Vivek Chudamani, Nirvan Shatakam. I talked a little bit about that. So, very good literature is available now. We are very lucky that many videos on Shankaracharya, on Krishnamurti, on Kabir, are beautiful videos are available on internet, and we can gather a lot of knowledge. But the idea is not gathering knowledge, but going deeper within us to be alone, to be silent, to look inward, look at how these thoughts and feelings are coming, and watching them from the dimension of awareness and learning continuously. And there may be a past life and future life, because many people remember, but Krishnamurti did not like to talk about reincarnation, and he said that how you live now, that will determine how you live in the next moment or next day. So living in and dying are continuously going on in our life. So we don't need to depend too much about the past life and blame our karma, because karma are happening every day, every moment. And it is possible to break through this chain of cause and effect. Okay, I think I have said enough thing right now, and people who would like to make any comment, please. Thank you very much.
If anybody wants to say or comment on what Harshad sir said, he can raise his hand. Yes, Saroj sir, you can talk.
Yes, sir. Have you demuted me?
No, I have today kept open.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir, पहले I pay my respect to you. You have done a very good parallel presentation of Shankaracharya and Krishnaji. Both are great masters, and there are many similar approaches, but fundamentally they differ, because Shankaracharya, as you have rightly told, he expounded that Atman, the truth, that is Brahman. But Krishnaji straightforward denied Atman, and he said that the concept of Atman is nothing but the projection of some thought. And his concept of truth is not as is in Vedanta or Shankaracharya. But however, both the masters have a great impact on our philosophy and thinking. And as you say that Shankaracharya, he went out of his body as soul, and Krishnaji, as you said also, has gone out of his body, and the masters and all that. But I have gone bit deep Krishnaji from his early days. I read the 2 volumes of Mary Latin, and and subsequently he left the theosophy and his talks in 30s, 40s, 50s. Some abstracts I have read. To me, it appeared Krishnaji in his later part, let me say 60s or 70s onwards, last 15, 20 years, he set aside this early part of his life, that the masters, Maitreya and all that. He said in one talk, is not relevant, and the validity, truth of it. The later part of his talks were totally, I found, to be rational, logical, and philosophical. Shankaracharya, great master of the Hindu religion, is the Adi Guru, and like Pope of Christians, he is our Guru. And definitely he has his own interpretation of Vedanta. And other masters like Ramanuja, Madhva, they have their own interpretation. But Shankaracharya is the leading figure. And even Buddha also denied the understanding of that Atman prevalent by the masters and misinterpretation. And straight categorically, in some ways, I have read also, he denied there is no Atman and all that. But however, they are so fascinating and attractive. I, being a Hindu, I cannot leave Shankaracharya and I cannot leave Krishnaji. But I definitely say they run parallel and they cannot be equated. And these myths and all that I set aside. But in Shankaracharya's case and Krishnaji's case, the philosophical point of view, Vedanta, and Krishnaji's approach, Buddhism approach, I am very much interested, and I appreciate. To me, Krishnaji appears more logical and philosophical understanding, and also in our reality, because Shankaracharya, what is the Vedanta and subsequent casteism, our Hinduism is polluted with this caste system existing today. The right today in our day-to-day living also we experience this at this moment in this 2026 also. And Krishnaji has totally denied all such things. Early part of his life, he left theosophy and all that. That's all that history and all that. So maybe, but what he said in the later part, I just cannot be just set aside. This is philosophical. It can be taught in universities of some taken. So Krishnaji, I find to be more rational. But when Shankaracharya says Atman, Brahman is all pervading, the validity of that, the truth of our living Atman, maybe some truth of our life energy, that may be quoted, but when he says it's all pervading, and how the criminal activities are going on, how these divisions are going on, it's not pervading, sir. So, Krishnaji, I find more rational, is more practicable. I find it so, sir. Thank you, sir. Please explain to my talk.
Yeah, I want to respond about the word Atman. Like they use some people like Raman Maharshi used to use the word true self, and that is equivalent to Atman. And in my view, both this true self, Atman, and this choiceless awareness, they are same thing. Because ultimately, Shankaracharya says, I am infinite consciousness, blissful consciousness, eternal. So that is what awareness is also like that. It is not localized at one place, it is everywhere. So it may be just the different words are used by different teacher, and then we think that they are not same. But I think beyond the word, if you go deeper into yourself, then you don't mind whatever word people use, but that state of looking clearly at the thoughts and feelings, that is Atman or true self, because it says that this true self cannot be seen, but it is through this true self that we can see everything. Even our mind, ego can be seen when there is a ego is arising or anger is arising. It can be seen through this true self or Atman or awareness or intelligence, whatever word we use. So it is just the problem of different language, different teachers use. Any teachings which helps you is good for you, I feel, but it doesn't mean that what other people are saying is not true, because different people are affected by different teachers. And so even scientists, a quantum scientist had come to India in the beginning of 20th century, and he was grappling with some equation in quantum physics. And he came to India, and I think it was Rabindranath Tagore who said, why don't you read Shankara? And then he got something from Shankara, this quantum physicist. So actually what we get is more important, whether it is from Kabir or from Astavakra or from Raman Maharshi or Krishnamurti or Buddha. Many great teachers have lived, and they all are helping different people. Okay, thank you.
Sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else wants, he can raise his hand or he can unmute himself.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Harshad sir. You have given very good picture. So I had a good opportunity to read the Drishti Sishti Vada of Shankaracharya and Gaudapada, which is to my heart. And Krishnaji always talks from the truth side, not from the false side or what we call Vyavaharika Satya or Pratibhasika Satya. So he always speaks from the Paramarthika Satya. So that was very illuminating to me. As such, Sahuji was telling, the Atman which mentioned most of the times is Jiva, that is a small self or the self center which Krishnaji calls. Otherwise, there is no name or there is no thought or the mind. So the same thing told by Shankaracharya is you cannot approach the self with the mind. So mind is the obstacle. Same thing told by the Krishnaji. So the journey is same, but different aspects of the different teachers. Similarly, we are thinking thought itself is a truth. Yes, it's a distorted truth. So like Jagan Mithya, it says. Today only I was reading one of the quote of Krishnaji, which he says, once you divide, the truth is gone, love is gone. So we start with dividing, and we start with the personality, we start with the name. So we start with the perception. Before perception, what is there? We have never gone into that from which Krishnaji speaks. But few places it's very clearly Krishnaji mentions is always is, which is called unconscious and subconscious mind. Most of the times we have never touched that part, which has been very much explored uh, in various Vedanta Shastra, that is the three states. So our he tells us the patterns. So these samskara vasanas as patterns, or whatever we call culture or the society, the same thing he tells. And one more thing I wanted to mention here is, as Sahuji was saying, when Adi Shankaracharya went to Kashi, so Lord Shiva himself came in the lower caste form and he removed the ignorance, the final ignorance of Adi Shankaracharya. It is told there is a stotra also, Manisha Panchakam. Like that, there are so many similarities, and I don't know one more thing. Recently, I came across from Krishnaji's literature, which was put in the group. Like though from 1920 he is giving lectures, is he tells somewhere that his complete understanding of truth happened only after 1950s. And similarly, one more experience of Adi Shankaracharya testing. He tests Guru tests the Shankaracharya, and Shankaracharya puts the whole Narmada river into small vessel. That itself shows that the yogic powers was having by Adi Shankaracharya, and Krishnaji also. He has many powers, but which was hidden. Like hearing power was given to someone. My known people, when they went, he just touched it, the energy entered. And when he was about to leave, he said, Krishnaji himself, that I have 18 cylinder type of, like, very much huge energy is working. So these are the things, but most of the things what they thought or taught cannot be expressed in words or images. But yes, definitely they are not away. Krishnaji tells, I am not away from you. And he tells, arrival is death and journey is infinite. So we don't want to arrive like this is this or this is that, because whatever we are discussing is an image about ourselves and Krishnaji and Shankaracharya. So when we know that there is no difference between the my truth, your truth, our truth, but it is the truth. So the personality is gone and the thought is gone. It can be there, but not useful for its application as a deep truth. Thank you.
Sir, Parekh Sahib has done a great job, but I want to ask him one question, small question. He said he had some experiences, spiritual experiences. I mean, I am interested in knowing what are those experiences.
Okay. Yeah, I have written down everything, and you can find it on YouTube about my experiences with Krishnamurti. If you go, there are 500 videos now, but there are some audios are also there. And if you go to audio number 1, in that I describe, but I will tell you a little bit that it was not during a talk of Krishnamurti, but we were listening to bhajans, Krishnaji, and it was in Ojai in 1979, and Lakshmi Shankar had come to sing for Krishnamurti. And we were in the octagonal pavilion. We were all waiting for Krishnamurti, and the musicians had arrived. They were on the stage, and I was very close to musician, and I was looking at the musician, and the door was behind me, through which Krishnaji was to come. And before Krishnaji arrived, something started happening in my body, in my brain, in my heart, and everything, whole body became very warm. And then I saw Krishnamurti coming and sitting in front of the musician, and I was not looking at Krishnamurti, but I felt some kind of communion happening between us, and it went on for some minutes, and then I heard some kind of sound, leave him alone or something like that, and then it stopped. And when I came out from after the music program was over, and when I came out and I saw the whole world look so beautiful, as if I am that world, I felt like that. And I felt that all my problems are over now. And then I went back to Canada from where I had come to. And then I wrote a letter to Krishnaji and told him that now it is very clear that my life is meant for Krishnamurti schools. I would like to dedicate my life, to Krishnamurti schools. And first time I wrote to Krishnaji that please write back to me, because I was writing letters to him describing many experiences which I had gone through over the years. But this was something quite remarkable. And it really changed the direction of my life. And then I received a letter from Krishnaji, and he said he was very happy. And he talked about me to the principal of Rishi Valley School. And then I went to Brookwood Park a month after that, and I had lunch with Krishnaji, and I talked with the principal. He was also there, Mr. Narayan. And then I came to Rishi Valley, and since then, my life is connected with Krishnamurti. So there was something remarkable, non-verbal experience at the level of the body, brain, heart. Everything was involved in that, but no language. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
While I really appreciate your presentation or the comparison between these two masters, I think, sir, I have a lot of agreement with what Saroj Sahib has said. He said, I think, something very reasonable. While you say, what you say is also eminently correct, that in spiritual experiences, there are so many things which we don't know. Like Shakespeare said, there are many things, unheard of in your philosophy. That is what Shakespeare said, something like that. So we can only be humble and try to
Yeah.
understand. Thank you, sir. That's enough.
Yeah, what
No,
happens
process.
that people who are very rational, intellectual, they like Krishnamurti very much, but
Hmm.
there is something beyond intellect, and that is very beautiful. And in that, and everything can exist. In that, devotion can also exist. It's not like Krishnamurti is very much against devotion, but in that state where there is no self, everything is exists, and you don't have any doubt or any conflict within you that, oh, this is against what Krishnamurti is saying and this is what Krishnamurti says. All that is intellectual. So as long as we are in the intellectual plane, there will be conflict, there will be following, and you will need Krishnamurti again and again to make yourself understand. But once you understand Krishnamurti, you don't need Krishnamurti. You can see directly what Krishnamurti saw, you can see it yourself. And so you don't need Krishnamurti also. And that's why Krishnamurti says all that knowledge will not help you. The knowledge which you gather from Krishnamurti, knowledge is a burden, is a block. So I think we have to go right to the source within us, and then only we can have some authenticity, and there will be no dependence on any teacher.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I finished. Yeah.
Let Prasad sir speak something of Shankaracharya and Krishnaji, his understanding. He is such a learned
My,
man.
my understanding is more in line with what you said, sir. I
Please tell
didn't want
something,
to repeat
something
it
here.
because what you said is, I have a lot of sympathy or agreement or whatever you call it with what you said. That is what I shared. I have again to repeat what you said, more or
Okay.
less. At the same time, Parekh Sahib has done a great job by presenting the two masters.
That's great. Both are great masters.
Both are great masters, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I like to say is that Krishnaji says, you are the world. That means what is happening in other human beings, the same thing is happening. Your consciousness is the consciousness of humanity. And Shankaracharya says something similar, but it is much deeper. And he says, Aham Brahmasmi, or Tattvam Asi. That also he says that each one of us is like Brahman, but around that thing called Brahman or Atman, there are many layers of ignorance in our life. So as long as we are not free from many problems of psychological nature, then we are separated. We are not the world, because your problem you may feel is different than other people's problem. But when understanding comes, when there are no problems, we can see everything problems very clearly, whatever problems exist. So to approach a problem, one needs a freedom to approach. Otherwise, we get lost into description of the words and language and all that. Okay, I finished. Yeah.
Sure, sir. I appreciate your the boldness. As Krishnaji mentions, you should stand alone, alone. Again and again, he mentioned. But most of the times, we are dependent, even on our thoughts, images, and our old patterns. This happens for a long time. That's thank you, and it's well appreciated.
Sir, you have made your statement that is after 50, he is all rational. There is nothing mysterious about him. After that, he knows. I mean,
He himself told, sir. He has also told it.
yes, yes.
When
And
you go
you see,
deep
why?
into Krishnamurti literature and study or compare, so about 52, he was saying most things direct to persons. After that, he started questioning.
Yeah.
Difference in the approach was there.
Parekh sir, can
Initially,
you tell
he
me
was,
little detail about this?
he was saying directly what is the fact, and after that, he started questioning.
No, in 1979, when Krishnaji was in Rishi Valley, and I joined Rishi Valley in 1979, and in that time, Krishnaji went through one experience which he said was touching the ground, the source of all energy. And he said beyond that, there is nothing. So only at the age of 84, Krishnaji found something which he had not found before, the source of energy or the ground. So it is an infinite journey, I would say. One cannot say that one has complete understanding of the mystery of the universe. So there is no end to it, I think, yeah.
That is very true, sir. There is no end to our understanding because, but at the same time, what we like about Krishnaji is that he has removed all, anything mysterious. His stress is on yourself. Yourself with a small s, not a big s, your mind, your thinking, your feelings, your daily living, and how you fight with people, how there are conflicts in your life. Okay, like one small symptom, he said, can you be conflict free in our lives and with others and in yourself also? There is always a conflict. Whatever be the you may have Atman or no Atman or whatever, but basic truth is you are living in conflict. And the world is full of conflict. Full of all the leaders, they are all motivated by their own power mongering and all that. We see it daily in our newspapers, in our TVs and all that. So, how to transform your life your life in a world of machines, computers, robotics. Even in 86, he talked about robotics. Today, of course, he would have, I think, completely drenched us with his comments on machines. Shankara didn't have the problem of machines, So, he is more nearer to us. He constantly, he is dealing with our problems. My problems are not, are not those dealt with by Shankara. His Bhajagovindam is the basic foundation. I have read that. Because even in old age, you are still hankering for money and sex and whatnot, all these things. So, not that Shankara did not deal with our problems. He also dealt, but Krishnaji is nearer. He deals with our daily problems, our office going, all these things, our becoming. He calls it becoming. You are constantly becoming something or the other. You're always ambitious. You want to compare yourself with somebody. Your life is comparative. All these things. So, as Mr. Sahu has said, after 50, there is only these rational elements. And then in his last talks, he talks of creation. How to touch that source of creation and all that. So, unless you remove all this rubbish out of your life, you can't touch that source. So, like that, okay, sir. I mean, what you have said is correct. Parekh sir has said, presented both the masters. And you have devoted your life to Krishna Jesus schools. We can't say anything to you.
Yeah. No, what all this problem of daily life, Shankaracharya calls it Maya, illusion. And that is what he says, Jagat Mithya, that there is something beyond all these problems. And that we have to come in direct touch with. What is it that creates problems? And that is what Krishna ji says. So ultimately, we have to forget everything and just look at our own mind, how these thoughts are arising. And in that, there is a direct learning, I feel. But of course, these people, they have gone into that and they know the talent how to express, how it can help other human beings. And that's why they were giving talks. Otherwise, I think out of compassion, they were talking and it can help. So some teacher can help, Krishnamurti can help some people, and some other people, Raman Maharshi can help, and like that. But we have to do it ourselves. We can't just repeat the words of Krishnamurti.
One comment of Krishnaji, I have read today only, I think. He said, if you depend on books, you are stupid. So we keep on reading books and listening videos.
He is right. He is right. He said, burn all these books. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, good sir
Krishnamurti
to
was very
listen to your
passionate.
comparison between two masters.
Yeah, Krishnamurti was very passionate, very, very powerful. Shankaracharya was very mild and he was logical and he was giving all the what was written in Veda to in the debate. So Shankaracharya was a scholarly also, and also he had clarity both. Krishnaji was not scholarly person, and Krishnaji did not even like scholarly people because he thought that scholarly they are second-hand people. Right.
Harshad sir, I want you to tell this more on this. The first step is the last step because one of the disciple of Shankaracharya, his name is Padmapadacharya. The teachings and the learning of his resembles the Krishna ji. So for Padmapadacharya, he says there is no need of manana, nitadhyasana, or samadhi. While Shravana only in the first step itself, I am direct self. Can you put more light on this, please? First
Yeah.
step is last step. Yeah.
Yeah, when a person realizes that I am not this thought, I am not the feeling, but I am something else which can look at the thoughts and feelings. So that is what Krishnaji calls awareness or intelligence, which can look clearly. When such a thing happens in your life, first time, then you feel that there is something here, a different state in which there is nothing there. And one can even look at a tree or a human being without any thinking. And that is a marvelous state. But what happens that state may go away, and then again you get lost in the problem of thinking and feeling and daily problem, conflict. So only when this becomes ongoing, effortless awareness, then I think that is the first step and the last step. Then there is nothing to be done. No need to read any books. No need to do anything. You can just look and see the beauty around you, within you, and yeah, anything needs to be done. It can be done without any conflict. So that is the first step, I would say, and that is the last step also. But of course, there may be much more which we don't know beyond the first and the last step. Infinite journey, we don't know.
Thank you.
Ji,
One more
nahi,
doubt I had is like the comparison of Shankaracharya and Krishnaji. It has been said, I don't know what is the truth, but Kriya Yoga means there is a breathing technique was told to Shankaracharya, and even Krishnaji was doing a lot of pranayama, though he has not mentioned. And can you put a light on this? Anything you
Yes.
know?
Yes, Krishnaji was doing it every day, at least for half an hour, this pranayam, and he was doing yoga also. And he said that these are kriya to keep the body healthy. But if the body is healthy, it can also help the mind to be healthy too. Because if the body is not healthy, it will affect the mind. So for Krishnaji, this kriya was secondary thing, not the primary thing. You can just do kriya, yoga and pranayama. But important thing is looking without thinking, in the state of watching whatever is happening, how this what is unfolding in our life, to be in touch with it without what should be. And in that, there is no psychological time. There are no problems. Thinking may be there, feeling may be there, but it doesn't create duality. That I who wants to change the problem. So that insight that you are not thought, you are not mind, you are not feeling, you are that consciousness or awareness which is watching everything. So when that happens, I think that something new has really happened in your life. And then you will not depend much on books. You can sit quietly and just observe, and you feel wonderful to be alone and not escape into reading books. But you can read books, no problem. If you have to give a talk, you can read books because you need some knowledge to talk about it. Otherwise, knowledge is not necessary.
Sir, we wanted to know your experience in Kriya because I have done pranayam and Kriya. The major shift has happened after that. Means the consciousness purity and immediate seeing which happened because the origin of thought and the respiration is same. The center medulla oblongata. Can you put a light on this?
Yes, I do also pranayam. I do it in the morning and the evening time, and I feel very fresh after that. And also in between, also one has to keep on doing whatever one has to do, but with awareness.
Yes, sir. Even when
Either
thought thoughts, the pace comes down, the number of the shwasa come down completely, breathing. So it may reduce to just 2 or 3 per minute. Normally we take up to 16. I observe this. Is it right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it helps everybody. Yes.
Dinesh ji, please unmute yourself.
Are you able to listen me?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
First of all, Shankaracharya said and described about Maya. And Maya is Mithya, he said. The word Maya means energy. And that energy is true. And Mithya word says that the word is, means Maya is Satya, is truth. But its creations are false. It is very clear that Maya is Satya or truth, but its creations are Mithya. Mithya means anirvachaniya, you can say. Anirvachaniya means the things or the creations cannot be explained in words. It is very clear that the creations cannot be explained in words. That's why it is anirvachaniya, means you can't say anything about it, whether it is true, whether it is false, or whatever it is. Second thing, Krishnamurti only talked about the Gyan Marg, or we can say that he has only talked about the Gyan and understanding. But this Gyan is Vishesh Gyan. Vishesh Gyan means a special knowledge. The special knowledge means this also covers the thing which is beyond time, and you can say that this is unnameable or whatever it is, uh, timeless and all that. Whereas this the Shankaracharya covers all the three aspects. All the three aspects means he covers karma marg also. Karma marg means he has moved from one place to another, and he has means created these all mutts and all that. In that way, here this Krishnamurti also moved from one place to another, and given this and given the details to the pupil, or he has also formed the schools and all that. Secondly, the Shankaracharya also covered Bhakti Marg. Bhakti Marg means basically he has covered the Gyan Marg. Gyan Marg means Vedant. And in Vedant he has covered all the Rishi Munis and all their sayings and all that. But he has also covered the Bhakti Marg. Bhakti Marg means Bhaje Mudamati, whatever he said, that covers under Bhakti. So he has covered Bhakti Marg also. And in Bhakti, apart from that, he has also, of course, he has covered the Gyan Marg also. Gyan Marg means at that time, as these computers and all that, and the world was not like as today is, or at that time, at the time of Krishnamurti, the world was different. Today, the world is different. Shankaracharya, the world was different. So he has covered Gyan Marg, he has covered Bhakti Marg, and he has covered Karma Marg. So he has moved from this. We have already discussed that he has moved from this place to one place to another place, and developed these margs and all that. So he has covered all the things. We also discussed about Maya. Similarly, Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra he has written. This Brahma Sutra covers all the Gyan available, Vishesh Gyan at that time. So, at one place, Krishnamurti covers only one aspect, whereas the Shankaracharya covers all the aspects. Especially if you go for Vivek Chudamani, then you will find that he has covered almost those things which Krishnamurti has taught. Similarly, to cover this Bhakti Marg, he has written Saundarya Lahari and Ananda Lahari. So these Lahari means what? Lahari means the energy waves, which covers Anand also, and Anand and your Saundarya, both, which later on Krishnamurti said beauty. What is beauty? So that also he has covered. So in one way, if you see, he has covered all the aspects, whereas Krishnamurti also covered major aspects, but in a different way. He has covered all. We have already discussed many times about the Krishnamurti, which this JLC and all that, and then JLC and other parts which he has covered, like your fear and all, he has covered. So, although both we have discussed already that both what portions both have covered. Similarly, one thing has to be remembered, that this vritti means what? Normally people mistaken vritti for the thought, but it is not thought. It is the energy waves basically. So energy waves, vritti means vritta. Vritta means energy waves. From energy waves, what we mean, that one desire or this thing in a wave form, it starts from the Atman point, from Atman, and then it goes in the world, and then as we said, we know about the becoming. So it whatever the its aim is, it covers that aim, and then again goes back in the your Atman and all that. So why? What is that meaning? It means it is covering this vritti means vrutta. Vrutta means your circle. So here the circle is completed. So this has to be remembered. Similarly, people are mistaken for the pranayam and all that for the karma or kriya. That is not this pranayam and all that is not this what we say karma or this thing. Basically, this pranayam and all that comes under Hat Yoga. Means whatever your various karmas are there, or whatever your these kriyas are there, they comes under Hat Yoga. and not in Vedanta or this thing. And then some of this kriyas or this thing, they come under Rajyog. Rajyog means Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Yoga Sutra also said that some of the you can take the alamban. Alamban means you can take the help of pranayam, or you can take the help of light also. You can take the help of pranayam also for the for this to make what we can say that to cover all the things. So there are so many methods in the past which people have given, out of which this Kriya Yoga or this thing comes under your Hatha Yoga or Patanjali Yoga Sutra to some extent, and others are different methods. Like in Vedanta, they said that first step is the last step, whatever we say or what we have discussed. That first step is means is the last step has been talked by Shankaracharya as this steps are uh, first step means what? So first step in Vedanta, it is to focus on the energy. When you focus on the energy, or in Krishnamurti's language, attention. So when you attain that, then you can touch the, or you can attain the thing which is unnameable or timeless or whatever it is. The same thing is in your even Bhakti Marg in other way, in other way, that is Shiv and Shakti. They say Shiv and Shakti is Parvati. So in other case, Radha and your Sri Krishna, whatever they say. So this Radha is basically opposite of the Dhara. Radha is opposite of the Dhara. Means whatever normal direction is, that is Dhara, and opposite of that is Radha. So normally people understand that it is this Radha and Krishna and this thing, they go for the this what we can say this Dandiya Nritya and all that. So Dandiya Nritya represents the total movement of the world in the world. So similarly, so these are the things which we have to understand, that Shankaracharya has covered many things, many aspects, whereas Krishnamurti has also covered, but in a different way. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one comment, a short comment, is that Shankaracharya says that devotion is good if it leads to understanding, knowledge. So important thing is the understanding of oneself, the true self or Atman, to be free. And if bhakti is helping that, devotion is helping, or doing some actions without fruit, without desire to get anything out of it, if it helps in understanding oneself, then it is good. So even in Shankaracharya, the important thing is the knowledge of who am I. That is most important. And devotion and action, they are secondary. Okay, thank you.
What I mean to say, in Bhakti Marg there is a saying, Yatra Maj Bhakta Gayanti Tatra Tishtami Narad. Means wherever my devotees are singing and doing the bhajans, there I am always present. Whereas, what does it mean? It creates basically a atmosphere, and that atmosphere, if it is remains or it continues, then there is a presence of that energy. So this we have to understand that where you go by Bhakti Marg, where you go by Gyan Marg, whether you go by Karma Marg, you go to you reach the same place because the world, as Krishnamurti also said, that world is having you are the world basically. So this we have to understand that you are the world. So whether you go by this way, you go by that way, or you go infinite way, there are infinite ways. Arvinda also says that in synthesis of yoga, Arvindo says that you can synthesize your yoga. So same thing Krishnamurti says, there can be n number of paths. Thank you.
I think we can stop now. Time is.
Thank you all.
Thank you.